I'm Barry Allen. No! What does that mean? How can this...
This should be impossible now.
It should be impossible now?
You don't know about the...
Oh my God, don't do this to me. I don't know about the what. You okay?
You told Victor this was possible.
What does this mean?
Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. So we are exactly 2 weeks away from The Flash being back on our screens after this unforeseen lengthy break. We were only meant to be gone for 2 weeks, which then turned to 3 weeks, which then turned to 5 weeks. So it will of course be good to get to watch all the remaining episodes that are currently finished before we then go on another lengthy hiatus, which we should just pretend it is the end of season break, but of course it will be a break until we get the final 3 episodes that were originally planned. So yeah, for those that aren't aware yet, we will stop having episodes for the time being on May the 12th. That will be the last episode we get for a while, and that will be episode 19. But I'm sure by the time that episode rolls around, we will hopefully have a clearer picture as to when the last 3 episodes could potentially hit our screens. But yeah. But in this video, we're going to be going over some information recently revealed by the showrunner for The Flash, that of course being Eric Wallace himself, on what's going on with the Mirror World, that of course Eva, Iris, and now Camilla are now a part of, and when that will end, as well as the consequences of bringing that part of the story to an end for Team Flash. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various thoughts, opinions, and theories in the comments section down below. I'm sure, especially towards the end of the video, I'm sure you guys will have various theories or thoughts about what I think might happen or what, you know, could potentially happen. And of course, if you have any questions that you might want featured in videos, or even topics for videos, let me know in the comments section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, want to drop a like on the video to show support. Takes 2 seconds, helps the channel. But yeah, this is coming from TV Line in their Insider Line segment, I think it's called, which is pretty much just like little tidbits that they have gathered from interviews that either were never used, or they're just from conversations with those in charge when discussing other matters. So yeah, here is the question that was asked and the response given by TV Line. Is the Flash's Barry going to figure out that that's not his Iris, especially after Wally's warnings and Joe's suspicions? Yes, and the audience won't have to wait until the end of the season for this to happen. However, there will be tragic consequences to learning the truth about Mirror Iris. Consequences that will send the season in a new, even more dangerous direction for Team Flash. So yeah, this has been one of the things that I'd say many people have been wondering after a couple of episodes of the quote-unquote real version of Iris being in the Mirror World, and this presumably Eva-controlled version of Iris being out in the real world and being very suspect. But people haven't been wondering in like a, oh, who is Zoom, who is Savitar kind of way, and in curiosity, but more in a, oh, this is dragging along sort of way. Now, for me personally, I'm 99% sure I'm in the minority here, but for me personally, I don't think it's dragging along too much. I mean, she's only been in there for 5 episodes, and we've only really spent a considerable amount of time with her in what, like 2 episodes maybe? I'm sure there is a reason for her being in there for that length. Usually these shows are criticized for rushing through storylines, so it is sort of weird for people to, flip the switch and get fussed over longer time spent on one. I think the frustration more comes from the fact that Barry hasn't been like, they've been doing a lot of cool speeds to stuff maybe, and it's the Flash, you expect him to be running around a lot, but I guess it's sort of difficult when you don't have a villain that sort of, or at least the villain hasn't popped their head out as of yet in a major way, but where Barry can, constantly use his speed. I think that's mainly where the frustration is coming from, rather than Iris having an extended storyline. But anyway, episode 17 is called Liberation, which pretty much means freedom or to be freed. And it was Eva that says this, like she's seeking liberation. She says that at the end of episode 15. So Eva, at the very least, we don't know about Iris and Camilla, but Eva at the very least is getting out that episode by the looks of it. But Eva getting out will pretty much start what Eric Wallace is referring to in that piece from TV Line. Now let's just fast forward here a bit, just click the fast forward button on that VCR. That's a dated reference, Jesus Christ. But yeah, let's fast forward here a bit on the theoretical side of things, if you want to call it, to episode 17 and potentially beyond that. Now in that episode, 17, we should see Eva and possibly Iris and Camilla get out of the Mirror World and maybe leave that side of the show for a while until Eva needs to use it again, I guess, unless the other two are stuck there. Now, one of the questions that has been attached to Eva when she gets out of the mirror world is what would happen to Iris, and I guess now following the end of episode 14, Camilla as well. Now, that is something that I don't think any of us can be too sure about. I mean, what use would Eva need for the real versions of both Iris and Camilla in the real world when she has two versions of her own which seem to be under her control for the most part, or at least listen to her demands, especially if Iris or Camilla or both were suspicious of Eva and what she was up to. The only real thing that I can think of that would make Eva not go ahead with the mirror versions of Camilla and Iris in the real world and sort of get rid of them, and I'm sure some of you might have additions to this, so let me know in the comments if you do, but it would be if the mirror versions in the real world become a bit of a liability to Eva and her plans and what she's going for. If the two mirror clones end up making Team Flash, or at least some members of Team Flash, suspicious of them and not finding out that they are the real versions, Eva could have unwanted attention drawn to her, so potentially letting the real Iris and Camilla out of the mirror world in a mutual and I guess non-conflicting manner, when she gets out herself, might be for the best. Just like if she's looking ahead and saying like, hey, in like 2 weeks, would it be better if the real versions are out, if I still have those mirror versions? Like, which one's going to be a bit more less suspicious? A bit more less suspicious? A bit less suspicious. Learn English, please. But that does lead into the next part of that Eric Wallace quote from TV line, and that is the reveal, or I guess truth, about Mirror Iris being revealed. Now, I think there is one main answer, or I guess certainty, attached to this in regards to the bigger scope of the season and the main storyline, and that is that the reveal involved with Mirror Iris will probably tie into Black Hole and what is going on with them this season. Eric Wallace has said in the past that he's heavily hinted, at least, I don't think he's 100% confirmed, but he's heavily hinted at Black Hole being the big bad for the season, or at least stuff revolving with them or around them being the main threat. But yeah, I think we have to put a bit of an asterisk against Black Hole, just because we don't know or aren't 100% sure how Eva is connected to them, or how connected Eva is in general. Whether that be she takes over, or something along those lines. Like, she might kill Joseph Carver and then all of a sudden Eva's the leader of Black Hole and she has all this technology that she built herself. But everything Mirror Iris has been doing has run alongside Black Hole, whether that be researching them or taking stuff that they themselves have been after, which we've seen in the past couple of episodes. So there would have to be a point in which the two meet head on later in the season. But I actually think, and once again, this is personal and this is just a theory of mine obviously, but I think one of the bigger moments with this season, or at least one of the big shocking moments potentially, could involve Camilla. And this is pretty much connected to another question that a lot of people have had as well, and that's why Camilla was drawn into this storyline. Was it just to give Camilla screen time? Because they easily could have just left Camilla off screen. They do it with Ralph all the time. They've done it with Camilla in the past. They do it with Allegra. They even do it with some of the main cast. Like even Cisco does it as well. So they could have just left Camilla off screen. Did they have to bring her into the storyline? And I personally think, and this sort of attaches to some other news that came out about a month ago or something like that, I personally think Camilla may die. Now, this is a bit rough in regards to the Cisco side of things, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Eva killing Camilla or doing something along, pretty much that where Camilla can't come back to life or can't come back to the real world. Maybe Camilla gets stuck in the mirror world forever or something like that, but something bad happens to Camilla. Let's just say, to keep it simple, she dies in some way. I think that's going to be a big shocker for this season, and I think it's the main reason Camilla's probably involved with that storyline, to be completely honest, because personally, if nothing really bad happens with her, I can't really see the point as to why she was brought in. Does anyone get what I'm going for there? I felt really forced that she would discover that Iris was not the real Iris. Why wasn't it anyone else? And then she was brought in as well. I think they're probably going to do something with Camilla, and it's going to be maybe the turning point for Eva, where we realize, okay, yeah, she's very bad. Because at the moment, she's in that grey area. She's definitely up to something suspicious. She's going about in a very dodgy way, but she's not 100% evil, like we've seen in the past with other villains. So I think this might be a big turning point for Eva. Of course, whether this leads to Cisco leaving or something like that, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen there. Whether this is if this does happen, where this is a point where Cisco's wow, I brought Camilla into this. I was the one that brought her into Team Flash. I'm the one that got her fully involved with this. I'm the reason that she's dead. Cisco could feel that heavy burden, and that's why he leaves, or something along those lines. Who knows? It just depends how they want to write it, I guess, if Camilla does actually die. But one thing a lot of you might remember, or hopefully remember, because it was only a month or so ago, was that, I can't remember the actress's name off the top of my head. I should have written it down, but I haven't. But anyway, Allegra, the character of Allegra, that's the easiest way to say it. Obviously, the doppelganger of Nashwell's former, adopted daughter. She has been up to series regular for next season. and this was a bit of a shock. But which character hasn't? That, of course, is Camilla's character. Camilla has not been up to a regular. Allegra, as well as Chester P. Runk, those two characters have been up for regulars for next season, but they're the only two. So my theory going into this was that Camilla would maybe leave regardless, and this was before that episode even aired. So I thought that Camilla and Cisco would just leave in general, and Allegra would be filling in two roles essentially, or just taking Camilla's screen time, which would then lead to her being a series regular. So we could see Allegra being the only one working alongside Iris next season, or at least the only one continuing on from this season. There might be someone new that comes in next season, who knows. But I just think that having Camilla involved with that storyline and being taken into the mirror world and everything like that, I don't think she necessarily serves a major purpose into what's going on now. You know what I mean? I don't think she serves a massive purpose in regards to that, because we haven't seen that mirror version of Camilla interacting with Cisco, I don't think. So if they wanted to do something like that and make that a big storyline as well, I guess like the same with like Iris interacting with Barry, they would have had Camilla interact with Cisco straight away, but they haven't. I don't think we're going to see that, to be completely honest, or at least in any major way. It might be like some little scene, but no major focus. But yeah, we'll be interested to see what happens. Obviously, episode 17 is the episode Eva's going to get out most likely, so if something like this is going to happen, we should see the ball roll there. But yeah, I guess it's like a watch this space, but I'm not going to say I'm 100% confident in this, because I'm not. But I'm just observing the show, and the show sometimes gives you hints in regards to where characters are, and I just have this feeling. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me? Do you think Camilla may die? Because maybe I've swayed your opinion. Maybe like, hey, yeah, Camilla being there really doesn't make too much sense. It seems like it's a bit forced. So yeah, do you agree with me? Or do you disagree? Or do you have anything to add? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.